Super duper spoilers for all things Walking Dead up to Season 9, Episode 5. So Andrew Lincoln, who plays the great Rick Grimes, announced a few months ago that he was going to be leaving the show, as we all already know. Most of us assumed that means he was going to be killed off, but it turns out he was rescued by the garbage lady and taken away in a helicopter. Alive, motherfuckers. So just quickly, almost 2 years ago I made a video comparing The Walking Dead to Z Nation, arguably the two most popular shows on TV. The video was not trying to show which of the two programs was better, as everything is subjective, so that wouldn't make sense, but instead just to compare and contrast the two shows for a bit of fun. I made the comparison that both shows don't mind killing off main characters. I then said, we all know Rick ain't gonna die, alluding to the fact that the show wouldn't work without him, as in the comics he is still alive and rocking. I mean, he was meant to die one day and hand his legacy down to Carl. That's the main theme in The Walking Dead, I believe. A father's legacy for his son to carry on. So yeah, Rick was gonna die one day, but what I meant with my comment was, he's not gonna die anytime soon. Well, suck me dry and call me dusty. Within the last few months, I have received hundreds of messages making fun of the fact that I said Rick was not going to die. I mean, just look at this shit! And this isn't even all of them. So to all you dorks who thought you were so freaking clever, leaving often word for word the same comment, for all you fucks who can't have an original thought of your own, to all you dick flippers who turned out to be wrong, I just have one thing to say to you. Suck poop, jerks. Nah, I'm not good at insulting people. Anyway, it was fair to assume he could be killed off, but no one said he was going to die. Everyone just jumped to conclusions. In fact, when Andrew Lincoln made the announcement that he was leaving the TV show at the San Diego Comic-Con earlier this year, he specifically said he was leaving the show, but his relationship with Rick Grimes was far from over. Not really sure how people misconstrued that into him dying. I mean, maybe they thought he would come back as a Force ghost or something, I don't know. So what does this mean for Rick? Where was the helicopter taking him, and what's next? Well, we don't know much, but we do know something pretty special. AMC is starting to make original films, and yes, 3 feature films have been announced, all of them set in the Walking Dead universe and supposedly featuring Andrew Lincoln as the lead, reprising his role of Rick. Rick is going to be back in movie format. So we can safely assume Rick is not going to die anytime soon, but he is definitely done with the TV series. This was confirmed by the showrunners. I mean, I say definitely, I say safely assume, but the reality is that anything is possible, and he may end up being killed anyway. Who knows? But with this major announcement, we at least still have hope. Andrew Lincoln actually wanted to leave the series years ago, but decided to stay on as he thought with the departure of Carl and others it would be too great a loss to the fans all in one shot. At least that's what he said in a recent episode of Talking Dead. They probably just offered him more cash to stay. So why did he want to leave in the first place? People speculate it's a lot to do with politics. Perhaps the shitstorm with Chandler Riggs and others triggered him. We don't know for sure, as Andrew is such a humble and respectful person and hasn't talked shit about anyone actually. He did say that he has 2 young children, and as he lives in a different country, Great Britain, it was time for him to come home. Simply put, he wants to spend time with his family. There could be a myriad array of other reasons, perhaps a whole collection of them. But as a family man, does he really need another reason to leave? The only issue, I guess, is how he left. Carl was meant to be his predecessor, as the story was always meant to be a father and son's legacy in the post-apocalyptic zombie wasteland. At least, that's how I viewed it. But with contract disputes and Chandler Riggs being booted off the show, the legacy of Rick will now fall on Judith, his daughter. Or should I say, supposed daughter? Ooh! Shane for life, bitches!
Damn, it feels good to be a gangster. A real gangster-ass nigga plays his cards right.
But with Rick being alive still, how would this work? Why wouldn't he do everything he can to return to his family? The time jump we see was 6 years, confirmed by the showrunners and cast members. So 6 years and Rick hasn't returned. This is totally out of character. Even if what some people speculate is true, which is Rick's final episode, he came to terms knowing that his family, friends, and Alexandria is strong enough to survive without him. It still wouldn't make sense to never return though. So then what? Maybe he was transported to another country, an island, and simply can't get back. Maybe he's being held against his will, or perhaps he does finally get killed before he was able to return to Alexandria. Some people think Rick was transported to the Commonwealth, a recent story arc in the comics. The Commonwealth is a network of communities with over 50,000 people, so it could be that. But who knows? All we can do is wait and speculate like total nerds! So there you have it. Rick is alive, and Andrew Lincoln will be back in a series of AMC original films. Will he ever return to the show? Supposedly not. But anything is possible in this wild, wild world we call televised post-apocalyptic zombie fiction. What an amazing time to be alive. Where do you think Rick is heading? How do you feel about a Walking Dead film trilogy? If you could lick your own elbows, how often do you think you would do that? Leave a comment below and let's get a friendly discussion going. Thanks for watching, friends.